We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order on this May the 5th, 2022. Appreciate everyone being here. As always, before we start our meeting, we'll ask Robert to lead us in the prayer and also the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone would stand, please.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, again, we thank you for the time that we have to come together, Lord, for the business of our communities, and we just pray that you would bless that we do here tonight, that we, to the very best of our abilities, Lord, we help as much as we can where we can. We thank you, Lord, for where we live, as always, such a beautiful place to call our home, our friends, our families, our churches, schools, businesses, and everything it takes, Lord, to make Dade County what it is. We pray for our nation tonight. We pray, Lord, for healing in our nation, and we pray, Lord, for healing across the waters, especially in the Ukraine tonight. We pray that you would be with those people. Lord, it's something we hope and pray we never understand because it never happens to us. And we just pray that you would be with them. Touch them, keep them safe, Lord, and speak to hearts that are concerned, Lord, in that part of our world tonight, that it's useless, it's not needed. And we pray, God, that you would just, again, be with us. We thank you for all your many blessings. Just continue to bless. Continue to use us to serve you and help us to be willing to do so in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Robert. Paperwork out here. This is a regular scheduled meeting of the Dade County Board of Commissioners, which takes place the same time on the first Thursday of every month. Proper notice this meeting was given to our legal origin and has been posted in the hallway of the administrative building. At this time, I do need a roll call. Mr. Lowry?
Here.
Mr. Hartline?
Present.
Ms. Kyle?
Here.
Ms. Bradford?
Here.
Chair is present. We do have a quorum. Okay. Okay, move down to number 2. This is citizens participation. We got anyone out there who wants to come up and talk to us tonight? Okay.
My name is Carol Dixon, and I'm here tonight to...
Come up to the mic right here and tell everybody who you are.
All right, I do have something that is...
We give you 5 minutes now. We've fair to everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will do my best. I won't talk too fast, because then you might not get me, but anyway. My name is Carol Dixon, and thank you for allowing me for this opportunity to speak with you. I am a resident of Dade County. I live at 594 Cherokee Loop, Rising, Fawn, Georgia, in the New Salem community. I moved here 18 years ago with my family. We live here on a 3-acre mini farm, raising animals, gardening, and enjoying the country lifestyle. I just retired this February 2022 after working for many years to one day retire on my little farm. I finally obtained that goal in February and live on my farm with my dogs, cats, chickens, and goats. However, events have taken a turn, and my retirement life is turning into a nightmare because of a current neighbor and property owner, Colton Moore, and his father, Walter Moore. It is particularly important for me to bring my concerns to the commission because I need to make a public awareness with information that demonstrates Colton Moore's personality and ethics as one who was running for political office. This office is for the Georgia State Senate District 53 and includes Dade County. Where my story starts is that Colton's father, Walter Moore, told me that they wanted to clear their pasture next door on their 62 acres and they wanted to bring in cows and raise cattle. This was approximately 2 years ago. There was little or no fencing on the subject property, and he asked me if they could share my present pasture fencing, which was installed when I moved here 18 years ago by me. I told Walter that I wanted to be a good neighbor and agreed to sharing my fences. So they added some fencing to mine to complete a pasture, got a couple cows, then more as they increased their pasture fencing. Their new pasture really never established a good standing of grass, and it wasn't long before his cows were pushing on and weakening my older fences, trying to get grass in my plush green goat pasture. One day, I received a phone call from Colton asking me if I knew anything about his cows getting out of the pasture. I was working from home at the time and told him I would go outside and saw several people outside rounding up the cows. The following day, his father, Walter, came over and asked me if I had intentionally let the cows out. That is something I would never do. Sometime later, I told Colton that he would need to put up his own new fences on his side of the property lines. He said that he would change out my fencing using my fence post to make it stronger, but I stated that he needed to build his own fences on his property. He started questioning whether the fences were truly mine and threatened to cut them down. I told him not to touch my fences or I would call the police. On July 2nd of last year, I was driving home down the loop and there was a piece of heavy equipment parked in the right-of-way, which happens quite often, and I lightly tapped the car horn because I did not see anyone in the vehicle. Later that day, Colton hauled a junk car to the front side of my property line, right next to my driveway, which is maybe 20, 30 feet over, and when I asked him what he was doing, he said that I had no right to beep at him and that was the reason why. I explained that I didn't see anyone there and that they have in the past had a habit of blocking the road and needed to be more mindful of that since it was a public right-of-way. I decided to get an updated survey and paid to have Daniel Colliers to resurvey the property, marking the property line with orange stakes and ribbons every 50 feet on our common property lines. One of Colton's cows busted through my fence and Colton barely reattached it. I had to hire somebody to secure the fencing, and while doing so was confronted by Colton, who indicated that I shouldn't have gone through the trouble to hire a surveyor. I told him I was doing both of us a favor and he could now proceed to build his own fence on his own property. Ironically, I had a span of about 250 feet of fencing that was on his property by no more than 3 inches. We walked the property line together, and he said that it was now his fence and that he was going to cut it down. Again, I told him I would move it. Later that evening, I heard heavy equipment and realized that he and his father had cut the 250-foot span of fencing, pulled it and all of the fence posts out of the ground, rolled them up into a ball, and piled them up on top of the white junk vehicle that was on the property line. My goats were in that pasture, and I had to quickly herd them into an area in front of the barn. Moore's cows were supposedly moved down the road to a neighbor's pasture that had grass.
Got about a minute and a half, so kind of get to the point.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, anyway, I guess the point of the matter is I've had to call the police out to my house 3 times because of behavior that's just not appropriate. And the latest was just this past Tuesday when I had 3 big pickup trucks containing 5 late 20s, 30s gentlemen, not really gentlemen, pull into the side property, and they were shooting guns for over 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I called Trenton Police again. They said, they have a right to shoot, but, we can't really do much about it. And the bottom line is that this is all retaliation because I haven't given him his way to use my fences, to do what he wants, to speak the way he wants. And so I really feel like I have been bullied by them. Colton told me he was going to make my life so miserable that I would have to sell and move. They have beeped horns at me and driven their heavy equipment back and forth. I am a 63-year-old retired lady who lives by myself. Because I am not allowing them to have their way, they are retaliating, showing aggression, and causing me undue stress. I have no problems with any other land adjoining neighbors and only want to live peacefully on my farm. Something needs to be done. I realize that Dade County has no zoning laws, and this is a serious problem. This needs to change. Nobody wants it to be their problem until it's happening to them. Nobody wants piles of junk to accumulate next to their property where there could potentially be fuel runoff, contamination, and vermin. It would be a wonderful world if everyone could live with the do unto others rule, and that is why we must have laws for guidelines. I am afraid of this intimidation, fear, and bullying. I'm also fearful that Colton Moore's personality will not represent our county well, should he be elected to the Senate position. This is not a Democratic or a Republican thing. This is a people thing. This is a moral thing. There are many people in Dade County who support my feelings but are afraid to say anything or place a Steve Henry sign in their yard for fear of retaliation. And the public needs to know about this. So in closing, please, I am here tonight to ask for help from the Dade County Commission. Can I count on you for some action so I can better enjoy my little retirement farm and help Dade County to be a better, safer place to live? Thanks for your attention. And we do have some pictures that I just want to show you guys because you got to see it to believe it. This is my side property line, and this is where the white car is with the fencing and my fence post all on top of it. That's my red barn. The property line goes down and then swings over to the right. And those are things that he's placed all along my fence line just on his side to show you what he's trying to accomplish. And as he says, make me so unhappy that I'll move.
We want to cut you short, though. We try to be fair to everybody on 5 minutes, you know, and I just.
That's outside my garage window.
Yeah.
And this is a BP gas station that was down in Rising Fawn. There's the other half of it. This is where my driveway goes up the side there. There's a couch out by the road, a school bus. And here's the 3 guys yesterday shooting. My fence goes right here and then alongside my barn, right next to the goats.
Okay, we appreciate you coming tonight. And as you said, you know, we do not have zoning laws in the county, and I know you probably seen an attorney, and you know, as far as them violating the law, that the sheriff's department should determine, you know, like the shooting, you know, I mean, if they told you that they were not violating the law, it's not right what they're doing, you know, but I know you've been told it's a civil matter, you know, and whether in the near future, in the future, I don't know how our commissioners feel about it. I know we've talked zoning in this county for a long time, and the majority of people do not want zoning. They may now, it may change, but I'll let you, Melissa, you're the commissioner out there, I'll let you comment if you want to, and we'll just go.
Well, it's a hard place to comment. You know, I live my life, you know, the way I treat others is the way I would like to be treated. And I do wish that there would something that could be done, but as it stands, the commission is, you know, here with our hands up. I mean, there's not really, it's going to be left up to your decisions and the sheriff's department of what could be done. I feel for you. I know that it's got to be rough. It's got to be rough.
Thank you.
Robert?
Well, I have driven out and saw the stuff that's there. It's there. The pictures did not lie. I don't know, other than the story that was relayed to us tonight. I do feel for you. Like Chairman Romney said, and Melissa, we don't have zoning. And you are so right. Most people don't want it until something happens to me, to my place and my boundaries. But I do feel for you, and if there's anything that certainly if our sheriff's department would find that they can do, I think probably the EPA's probably been called out because of as you said, maybe fuel leakage, oil, whatever, and contamination. But that's really all we can say tonight but I do feel for and I'm sorry for
Yes.
what's happened to you.
Look, does Dade County have any, I mean, even though there's no zoning, are there not any issues that are regarding the EPA and stuff that the county can help with to step things up at a state level?
The state people's been out there. You know, they did not find any violations. You've had the EPD out there. You've had the erosion people. You know, you've had everybody look at it, you know, and they reported back.
Not everybody, Ted.
Well, maybe there'll be more, you know,
Okay.
but, you know, but they've reported back to us, you know, if there was anything that came back to us, yes, we could make a move, but they've got to be behind us, you know. I mean, it's you know, because, you know, our people that we deal with in Rome, you know, Jason, all of them have been out there and looked at it. And even one person that I wasn't aware of that's with the solid waste, I think you had them out. He came directly from Atlanta. Mr. Hartline?
I'm not dealing with exactly the same thing, but I've just spent a small fortune on fences for my neighbors to keep their animals off of my property. I understand. But in the same token, you're living in the country. I do know that, like he said, they've been out there and nothing's illegal. The shooting's not illegal, from what the sheriff said. So, and when you say your fence on that line, was that fence on the property line? Because if it was on the property line, when it started out, the fence, you said your fence between you and them.
Well, it was on my property line, except for the 250 feet that the survey showed was on his side by less than 3 inches that he cut out.
It's kind of like me. We built about 7,000 feet of property line fence in the last week. When you build it on the property line, it's both fences, no matter who pays for it. So you might want to keep that into consideration when you go back. Like if you build a fence on the property line, it's mine and yours.
Right, it is on
And-
my side.
Okay.
Did you find this out after the surveyor? When the surveyor come out and resurveyed,
Yes.
then you found out it was on?
And I said I would do the fence, and that's when Colton and his father got their heavy equipment out, cut the fence, pulled up the fencing and the fence post, and rolled it up on top of that white car you see on that picture there. And that's the thing, I mean, that's not acceptable behavior, you know, and I mean, maybe it all does fall back on the civil case, but at the same time, though, you know, I still feel like if someone feels like they can get away with things that aren't right, they're gonna keep getting away with them as well. And so that's why I'm here today, to make the awareness, to let you know about the problem, to let you know the problem is in our county, how it's related to the zoning, and how it's also related to people who think they can do a good job running our county and other counties that maybe should not be in that position.
Mr. Lowry, you want to comment?
No, I'm sorry for what you're going through. It's bound to be awful being by yourself and having to go through that. But I'm one of the ones that said I'm not for zoning. It would take a big groundswell of support of a group of people to get something like that for us to really consider it, I think, 'cause so.
You know, what's interesting though is Dade County is so close to Tennessee. You know, we do have that issue. We've got Alabama on one side, we've got Tennessee, which is a no tax state. Here we are in Georgia. You know, we're so close to all this development and this major economic stuff going on in Chattanooga. I worked in Chattanooga. I retired from EPD. And so I saw a lot of the innovative stuff going on. You know, Dade County is a little bit behind, and we like our little country atmosphere, and we love, you know, to say we live in the country and can enjoy those freedoms. But some of our freedoms are not here because of living in the past as well, and some of those things. So I know we have issues with that in Dade County as well, and I think that's important to note. You know, that life changes, the world changes. We have to adapt to change, and sometimes that's not liking things like zoning. But like you said, Mr. Lowry, you're not all about zoning. You don't care. You know, you're anti-zoning. I heard you say that at the debate last week. But you don't have this mess going on next to your house, though, either.
I've had worse.
You've had worse. I
I've
don't
had
know how
worse.
You can have worse. I don't know how you can have worse waking up in the middle of the night because you hear bulldozers going on and you're there by yourself. I don't think you've experienced that, just saying.
You don't know where I live.
Well, please come and see me. If you haven't been up there to see this mess yet,
No,
please come.
I've talked to Chairman Rumley several times. I know what you're going through, and I feel sorry for you, and I hate that you're going through that.
Thank you.
But when you turn to zoning, you talk about laws, you're giving up a lot of rights when you do that. I mean, you're leaving your property rights up to a board that can change. Just because you've got zoning don't mean it can't change, and it's a big expansion of government, and that's what I'm against.
Well, but part of zoning is about following the rules, I mean, or any kind of laws, you know, and that's it. And if people have their own, you know, rights and wrongs, and do we work between these levels or these levels, it has to be defined. And that's what's that's what's causing a lot of these problems in Dade County with a lot of the junk and things that people are not happy with.
Well, there is ways to make rules and regulations without zoning, and that's what the people need to look at and to come to the commission and talk to us about, because we set in those rules and regulations, but the people have to be the ones to want them.
Yeah, and it's not like you're gonna set up regulations for zoning like a real strict subdivision, you know, where the driveway has to curve this way and you can't have a doghouse or anything like that. But the basic stuff that's unacceptable to any community needs to be outlined. Where do we start with that?
Exactly. That's
Where do we
a
start
good
with
question.
that? You're kind of looking puzzled, but kind of like, tell
You
me.
get the majority of the people behind it, and that's where you start. You know, you don't come in and tell somebody to change the whole way of living of a county,
How do we start?
just because a few people want that to happen.
Is it a petition? Is it?
Get a
do we have
petition,
to
yeah, we
print
went through
articles?
petitions
What do
before.
we do?
We went through petition, get a petition in this county, and you get the names on there, people wants to actually have zoning and bring more government in their lives and take away freedoms that they have right now. Yeah, we'll definitely look at it.
Yeah, I would.
I've been here and I've went through this twice, you know, and like I said, we may have enough of the millennium age. Forgot I thought I cut that off, I'm sorry.
Warranty
People here
out.
too, actually, do what now?
Then your car warranty's out.
Probably as a 973 area code, I have no idea where that's at, but no, that's where it starts, honestly. So
Well,
get out and, if you want to, and get behind it, go on Sand Mountain, go out here, go and look at it, go to Rising Pond. Get these people to sign and say, yes, they want zone in this county. You bring it up here and let's look at it.
And as a new commissioner, for me, and I try to tell this to everybody I talk to, the more that people contact me and talk to me about what they want, what they need, what they want to see, the more I have to work with. I do get a lot of complaints, but I don't get, hey, let's look at this and really zone in and see what we could do about this problem or this issue, and let's look up some laws, because I'm ready to work anytime,
Well, I'm glad to
anytime.
hear that, because I'm ready to work with you, and I know a lot of other people that would be anxious as well. So I guess we have to put our own team together and start doing something
Well,
about it.
that's how it starts. That's how
Yeah.
it starts.
That's great. I will be in touch with you about that then. Thank you for that offer.
And my opinion's a personal opinion. That was a personal opinion I did at the debate, and that's a personal opinion I just give you now. My personal opinion's not what I rely on. If I can figure out what the people of this county are wanting, I'll go with it, whether it's what I want or not.
Majority rules, yeah. We appreciate you coming now.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we got some other people wants to talk to us.
Can I say something?
You sure can.
Okay.
Well, we got Mr.
Yeah, Henniker's up. Yeah. Come up here where you at. Come up here where we can be seen. Tell us who you are.
Bonnie Casey. I taught a lot of these people in school. I do believe, don't take, no, Lamar. This is harassment, plain and simple. Now, yet zoning laws, I know that we do live in the country. I'm glad I live in the country. This also makes our neighborhood look like crap. I mean, when you ride around on Cherokee and see this, I mean, it's really horrible. It's not, yeah, what they're doing to her is bad. And the Moores and I go back a long way, and it's good stuff. Because their mother kept Anna when she was little, because I was a single parent just like she is, okay? Her daughter's in law school right now. She just doesn't deserve this. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
And, it's a little scary for me too, because now I have to think about, okay, am I going to be retaliated against? But I'm going to try not to live in fear. And I don't have any animosity towards them except for what they've done, and it's horrible. And if you hadn't seen it, you need to go look at it. It is inexcusable, it's bullying, and they know they can get away with it. And that's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you, Bonnie.
And it has nothing to do with politics.
And that's what
She
we need.
probably is on the same kind of side that the Moores are, okay? She's a gun owner. She's a, certified gun owner. She doesn't have a problem with that. But when somebody lines up their trucks on your property and shoots to scare your goats and to scare you, it's wrong. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Mr. Henniker.
Ain't no way I was getting in front of that. My name's Jerry Henniger. I don't have zoning problems, so I live in a city where we got zoning. So just want to talk to y'all about the land purchase and stuff y'all got planning coming up on the Dyer's property and the old train depot and the elections office, okay? From my understanding, the train depot was fine with where the elections office was going to go up until it burnt. I cannot find it. Mr. Lowry got into a conversation on Facebook, and I appreciate the feedback and the conversations we had. I could not find it on the Georgia Registry of Historical Buildings. It's not listed on there anywhere at all that I can find, or I've had some other people to see. So I'm trying to figure out why it was fine then, but it's not fine now after the fire. And I understand that, you got fire damage and all that, but with the sale of the property that we just did, the amount of money we had, we could tear down the train depot, build your new building there. I understand in some of your talks on KWN, you've mentioned parking. Well, the city has a parking lot.
You want to sell that piece of property then? Is that the land where we can build that building right there, that parking lot out there? We'd be glad to build it there.
No, but you work with the city and, you build your elections building where the train depot is, and then you work with the city to use their parking
The
lots.
train depot was in too bad to even, if you've been up there and looked at it, I mean,
That's why I
it's
said
not even
tear it
feasible to
down.
even, yeah.
Tear it down and put your new building there. I don't understand why we're wanting to go buy 3 acres of prime real estate in the city, which takes it off of the city's tax roll, and then turns around and is a part of I think a 13-acre development right there that could be used for 55 and older living houses or future development. If you look at our city here already, most of our prime real estate is taken up with government buildings. You've got the court buildings, we got this one, we got the jail right here, the school system, all of this is prime real estate. Now we're turning around and taking up another 3 acres of prime real estate when we already own property down by the, where the train depot is. So I'm just trying to figure out why we cannot tear the train depot down, build your new elections office there.
Not feasible to do it at all. We've looked at all the numbers.
Why is it not feasible to tear it down?
Numbers.
So you're saying to me,
whether
it's
we
gonna
buy it or
cost
not,
you
that's
more
a
to
much
tear it
more,
down.
it is a much better place to build it. It's more accessible. It's a lot easier for people to get in and out. We can build now if
But it was fine- it was
we'd be
fine.
glad to build that down there. If you really want, if your city wants to agree and actually let us have control of that land and sell us that land, we'll put it right up there on the road and actually have have parking spaces on the road and the side, but not where the depot's at. There's no way. I mean, it's out of the way. This needs to be an
But
area.
that's where you were gonna put it before the fire.
And we were gonna build a bill, yeah, I know it, but it's not gonna, right now, it's
Why-
just not.
What's
legal.
changed?
It changed it, yeah.
Why, what has
Because
changed?
we were trying to save the building, that's why.
Okay,
That's why.
so we're gonna just leave that building there, go buy 3 acres.
We're not sure what we're gonna do.
What are we
We'll decide
purchasing?
that, yeah.
What is the purchase price of the 3 acres that we're?
$100,000. Yeah.
100,000. So you're saying and what's the cost? Have we got plans for a new
We're
elections?
doing the plans, we'll get that, and we'll know
How big is
later.
that building or whatever?
Probably a 40 by 60, something like that, roughly.
Metal building, brick building?
No, it'll be built it'll be maybe the metal back. We'll bring that to the planners here, our commissioners later on, when we get it done, yeah.
Well, I think y'all just, I
Be a
would like for
nice
y'all,
looking building. We'll have the elections wherever we build it, and we'll have probably 3 offices in it, because we've got some people here that need to be moved, ASCS office and some places. So it'll be a good move. And it's up to the
if
commission.
you would
we'll
share,
do
I'd
it.
like to see the numbers, because I'm not sure how it's gonna be more
Okay, that's fine,
expensive
yeah.
to tear that down and rebuild the building there versus buying $100,000.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
your
'cause if
opinion.
you put an
That's why-
excavator, I'll
Yeah.
work the excavator on my days off, we'll tear it down.
Yeah, that's
you
your
know.
opinion. We appreciate you coming
So the
and
total
expressing
acreage
opinions.
is 13?
I don't know what's down there total. I think it's around that somewhere. But y'all are,
Tear down 2 buildings that's already there on the Dade property?
yeah, don't you have to tear down the
Oh,
two
yeah, they're
lines?
done. The termites have ate them up. They're in bad shape.
So we still gotta tear those buildings down.
Yeah. Yeah, about 2 hours, 3 hours, we can wipe that out, yeah.
Yeah, those are
Okay, then
pretty-
how long is it gonna be down there?
Well, we might not tear it down. We're not sure what we're gonna do. That's what I'm saying to you. It's funny, isn't
I'm
it?
just
Yeah.
trying to figure out, well, as taxpayer, I don't think we need to go buy more prime real estate and put up a new building where it's prime real estate when we've already taken up a lot of our prime real estate with government buildings. Put your elections building down at the sports complex. You got
That
100
would
some
really
odd
be-
acres down there.
You got the city people now, it needs to be centrally located in this city.
Right, it does.
Not off out, down by the railroad tracks or whatever. It'd be good if it was now. If that went through, we were gonna make it work. But then I didn't really realize how much land that we did not own down there. I
Well,
thought
it
we
sounds
owned
like
part.
your mind's made up where it's going.
No, it's not.
So
We'll build
I'll
it
ask
anyway.
each one of y'all
Yeah.
to really look at this, and let's try to figure out if that's why we're gonna spend taxpayers' money to buy prime real estate when we have a piece of property already. I don't
We
see
have
that.
found out, Jerry, through elections this week, of course, they're having them in this building. With the election laws that have happened, what we were gonna do down there was not gonna be big enough. Because she's got to set up, supposed to set up 15, I don't know why,
Stacey,
West
yeah.
Stacey Abrams, I guess. She's got to supposed to set up 15 voting, whatever they call them in here,
Voting
for
stations.
election day. She only has 12. So that's gonna take this room up, because you can't have people where they can look. So we did find out the fire wasn't a good thing, but it did make us stop and look at what we had down there, the amount of property we had, and that building was probably, and of course, our election commission was telling us that all along. Because you see behind Mr. Ross and Mr. Stevens back there, that's only about 4 boxes of, God only knows how many they've got that size now, where an election used to be held with a little box about the size of a cooler that you'd take camping. But that's what the election laws have done, is put all that in. So it wasn't a good thing, but it did make us look at where we were. And yes, the city does own property, so maybe that could work. That's not off of the table yet either. Nothing's.
That's all I'm asking is,
on the
let's
table.
really look at it.
We even
before
looked at
go.
building it right here at the where our new courthouse, on the
courthouse
left
out
side
on
of it. But then we looked at it, but look at that parking.
All I really want is, let's look at this and let's quit trying to put government buildings on prime real estate when we're trying to, grow the city and everything else.
Well, I will say though, that any county, city, whatever you go to in, not just in Georgia, but everywhere, where your buildings at, they are centrally located.
They are
They're
centrally
not.
located.
I wish our schools were on prime real estate together. We wouldn't have a lot of the traffic problems.
I
we
wish
have,
they were out of
but
the
they're
city.
not there. So some things we can't change, some things we can, some things we have to.
Well,
some
change
things-
starts now for the next, 15 years.
Well, and I do have to say that I was just kind of hearing about this the last day or two, and I'm not opposed to it, but there's also options with the property that's the depot's on. And I personally will say that I don't want to see the depot tore down. I would love to see it restored somewhere, whether it's moved, whether it's it's off that property and that property is sold, or whatever the case is. But there's lots of options that could be forward. It's not just, oh, we're buying that and we're keeping that property. There's options.
Yeah, it's not decided for sure yet.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
for
there's
sure.
no decisions, and
Well, like I said, all I ask is that you really look at it before we go purchase 3 acres of, prime real estate down there.
But while we are talking about it, we really need to get that election office out of this building.
yes.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
150 feet away from it, because if you run what you have, and I run, we all have,
Yeah.
tax commissioners within 45 feet of the election.
Yeah, I understand what we're
It's
doing.
never
I just
been-
don't
yeah.
understand why we're, purchasing another piece of property when we can.
And I know what
when
you're
we
looking
can
at
make
is
that
the
one work.
city.
You got
but,
intergovernmental agreements that you
We
can
just put
use,
35, 36 acres back on the tax roll. Now, that is in the county.
Yeah, it's in the county.
Property we sold, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully some homes will go on it and people live happily ever after. But, so it is that was a trade-off, but, city and county, they're not the same. I mean, as far as the tax.
No, it's not the same, and city's barely got enough tax money as it is, so.
And I do
But
have
just-
to say again, these are things that if you call your commissioner and you talk to your commissioner, these are things, I've only had one person call and talk to me about this situation. So, I would have never known that it was a problem, or that anybody cared that, we were thinking about that, or, so call your commissioners, talk to your commissioners. I have to say that multiple times, because it's just, that's what we're here for. We don't know if we don't hear about it,
Yeah, that's why I came here this evening.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
I think
Commissioner.
Mr. Fairclough's got something. Oh.
All right, anybody else?
Well, I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Yeah, you don't listen to him anyway. You're the boss.
Basically, I just wanna ask, something, because I'm just tired of hearing rumors back and forth, and I'd just like to know more of what the fact is. And so,
Talk up there, everybody here. Tell us,
I can't hear
tell
you.
everybody who you are first.
Name's Melissa
Tell everybody who you
Fairclough.
are and who you're with, your name and what you do and all, yeah.
I don't have to tell them all that. My name's Melissa Fairclough, that's good enough. I live in Wildwood. So I'm hearing that, with the school board trade-off, with the property and such, that, you guys are thinking about moving the jail to that Wildwood property.
Hadn't
Yeah,
heard that.
right. So that,
You heard
well,
me.
that's why I'm here. Okay?
Hadn't heard that. I'm glad you told us.
Tell us who said it, because I misspoke, it wasn't me.
That somebody said that,
Actually-
and I wanted to know if that was just a
Actually,
rumor.
it's kind of right across from where you come out of your driveway up there, right there on the other
It's
side.
not far, and
I'm talking about that land up there, that's,
Yeah, up there, yeah. And I mean, I understand we're trying to get
that's nothing to do with the jail.
those kind of buildings out of the city, and it would be better for the city.
Hmm.
But,
A storm shelter, yes, but. a jail-
That'll be the beginning.
well, and Lamar had also said that it's a possibility that it's gonna be storage. But,
What?
so-
Well, some of it will be, yeah.
Yeah,
but
which it has been for years for the school system.
And I'm hoping for a small playground for our.
Playground will be there, it'll be a nice
Okay,
thing. Yeah.
great. That would be wonderful. My husband's probably gonna kill me, but I also will follow up on what Jerry was saying also. I'm not agreeing with that purchase either. Of course, it's not, that's just my opinion, and there's a lot of people that live in this county. If there's something that could be done with the train depot, I think that that's where you should head towards, and if you haven't had enough people come out, maybe you should have someone like ServPro come out and say if it could be saved. and
They've
what
looked
would
at it,
cost.
yeah.
They have, so is it,
Well, it's a subsidiary of Servpro, but,
Yeah.
oh, it can be, I mean, but not just a simple, the fogging and all, like they do like on a miner. This would have to have the whole top taken off of it, the structures up, the main beams, they're charred, so it's not that
I mean, I
simple. But
understand the
the smell
process.
could be gotten out of it, though,
well, there's a
Like
lot
the
of things
ceiling.
that can be done to a house, believe me.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen some pretty bad stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Anyone else?
To save everyone from keeping time for me, I have set an alarm for the 5 minutes that I'm allowed. Also, many of these events that I'm about to talk about happened before Commissioner Melissa Bradford took office. Good evening, my name is John Huffman, and I have been a Dade resident for 11 years. And yes, I am the military veteran of 24 years of service whose representation was removed by this commission 3 years ago. And now I'm trying to pack those 3 years into 5 minutes, where even today I'm not represented by this commission. Most also know me by my volunteer work as your Dade helper. And I created and I run the Dade for Free site on Facebook, where we help people every minute of every day, including the families and friends and neighbors and renters of people right here in this room. And the only reason I'm even in this room after 3 years is that you have commissioners telling everyone that they represent all people. And that can never be the case because of all the people in Dade County that commissioners have cut off. I have to say something so they don't do it to anybody else. And to the Sentinel, citizens who come to these meetings and speak are here on their own time and unpaid. That cannot be said about almost everyone else in the room. Yet citizens are the only ones that have to speak with a clock shoved in their face. So citizens are trying to cram as much as they can in their 5 minutes, and then they wind up as Eddie Gifford's headline news for talking too much and bombarding the commissioners. If the citizens don't use words that flatter the commissioner's ego or speak about the real problems that have been going on for years in Dade County outside this building, that will also be a headline about making sparks fly. So during our few minutes of allotted time, we still can't say too much or say anything negative, or else that's the headline. And then in later articles, the Sentinel will make little jabs at citizens. This was on June 2019. The Dade County Commission meeting was long with many details covered and no disgruntled citizenry. And since the newspaper is being paid by county government, you will never see the newspaper write anything ill about county government. Instead, even though these are public meetings and part of a democracy that is supposed to be about the people will be who the headlines are about. And whatever issues those citizens brought up will never be investigated or researched or called out and will be ignored. In fact, the newspaper will write articles all about the citizens without ever interviewing them. And this is the independent state of Dade, right? In a country founded on citizens who demanded that their voice be heard. So when did the sleepy calm of Dade meetings become the standard? You think Dade became independent by leaders who liked the sleepy calm, or by leaders who spoke up against government? If citizens at meetings is the biggest news we have going on for us in Dade, democracy is lost here, and that flag needs to be taken down and burnt. And headlines like those that blast the citizen, those headlines don't encourage anyone to speak up here. So you are taking this, which is supposed to be for the people and with the people, and doing your best to make it so nobody dares to be honest and speak up and waste your valuable taxpayer-paid time. And don't even get me started on the fact that the government, via taxpayers, pay the newspaper to post free public information, the legal notices. But then the public also needs to pay the newspaper again via subscription or purchasing the paper to read those notices. Why not have the notices in the paper, but also put them on the county website so people aren't double paying to read them? But then again, whatever sells papers, right? So it's election time and the signs are out. People are taking the time and using their gas to vote, but what are they doing that for? What are they expecting in return? Why vote at all? Basically, with one full-time commissioner, 4 part-time commissioners, and 1 position that communicates for the commissioners, we have over $160,000 in commissioners sitting before us. And that pay was even in the peak of COVID, when many taxpayers were out of work and standing in food lines. So what are we getting for our money from these individuals? Wish I could tell you. That's my time.
All right. Thank you, John. Y'all want any comments? Okay. Anyone else want to come up, speak tonight?
See you in 3 years.
We will move on with our meeting. Move down to, okay. Lamar, you want to go ahead and do Philip there first, but go ahead and start your committee report if you would.
Okay, I'll start with the call activity report for E911. We had 174 EMS calls, our ambulances. We had 197 fire department calls, fire and first responders. We had 2,050 police calls, and that includes the coroner, the Georgia Department of Public Safety, Dade County Sheriff's Office, and Trenton Police Department, for a total of 2421. I'm just gonna say a little bit. We've got it on our consent agenda tonight to have it passed. I've authored several pieces of legislation over the last 2 years to protect our Second Amendment rights. The first one we did was a sanctuary county that was developed into basically a toothless resolution, carried no weight. Then we passed the resolution to our governor, to our state representative Mike Cameron, and to our Senator Jeff Mullis, that we wanted constitutional carry passed. And it was unanimous by this board, and this year we got that passed through the state of Georgia, so I'm proud of that. The resolution 0522 is a answer to the no teeth in the sanctuary law. This is a law. It will be when we vote on the consent agenda tonight. It basically says that be it ordained and acted by the Board of Commissioners of Dade County, Georgia, in support of the Second Amendment rights of Dade County citizens, no county resources shall be used to enforce gun restrictions or gun accessory laws that are in violation of laws of the state of Georgia. Now, we are an arm of the state of Georgia. So it's important that we have a governor that supports our Second Amendment rights. And I want to personally thank, I've done a lot of work on this, because I was told so many times, couldn't be done. We couldn't do it. Robin was patient with me and had go over draft after draft, and sending it to other attorneys till we finally got one that would stick. And I want to thank, if I hadn't had the support of my fellow commissioners, it wouldn't went anywhere. So I personally like to thank each one of them. Chairman Rumley, when he read it, he said it was the right thing to do. And I've had complete support from Philip Hartline and Robert Goff and Melissa Bradford. I've had complete support. Without them, it wouldn't have went anywhere. So I want to say thank you, and I appreciate my Second Amendment rights, and there's nobody gonna walk over and burn the flag behind me. I'm done.
Mr. Hartline.
For April, I'm gonna start off with our electrical inspections. We had 26 inspections for the month of April. I'm gonna go over to the rec side now. In baseball, we've had 67 games in April. Soccer, we've had 23. For the whole month of April, we had 151 games total at the sports complex. Last weekend, we had a softball tournament that had 23 teams that come down and played in our first tournament of this year. We had from Dade County, Ider, Alabama, Signal Mountain, Red Bank, Harrison, Chickamauga, and Rock Springs. From what we collected at gate fees and concessions, we figured there was roughly between 1,300 and 1,500 people here for that tournament for a 2-day tournament. They come in Friday night and Saturday. I think we played a total of 61 games in 2 days down there for just the softball tournament. There's also, we've got a soccer tournament, a 12U soccer tournament starting today, and it's going to go through Saturday. So for the park, it's got a pretty good budget. But while Stacy, I wasn't there, I was in Savannah for training, but Stacy said there was a lot of McDonald's bags, Hardee's, Ingles bringing in water and stuff. So that's why I'm pushing tournaments as hard as I am, because that brought in an extra 1,000 people that come here, enjoyed Dade County, and then went home. There was people that, even the ones in Ider, said, we didn't realize y'all had these ball fields, and they just live on the mountain. So that's what I'm trying to spread, is to get people to see what kind of a facility we've got. And they even compared us to 3 parks in Chattanooga, and they said we wasn't right with them, but they compared us to Warner Park, Jack Maddox, and Summit. And they spend millions. They spend $2.5 million at a time to remodel and redo them parks. So I am very well pleased. We had one incident where a pump went out, and this goes to our building and maintenance. On Saturday, a pump to the restroom went out, and within 2.5 hours, they had the pump changed out and the bathroom's back to working. So that's, for a Saturday, that's really good.
Mr. Hartline?
Yes.
You mentioned there were 28 electrical inspections
Yes,
that
ma'am.
were approved or whatever. You were reporting on that. Who is in charge of the electrical inspections now and in the past?
Now, the county does electrical inspections now and did them in the past.
Stacy
Or
Stevens.
Stacy Stevens, which is in,
He took Cuba Evans' place.
Is he located in the Dade offices?
he is.
Mr. Goff.
All right, I thank everybody that has been to the grocery stores and the gas pumps and everything else knows we're in I think they're saying the biggest increase in the economy that we've seen in 40 years. That's not reflected in our SPLOST, or I guess it is in a way. The SPLOST that came in this month for 2 months ago, I believe, Don, would be the highest probably ever since we started, maybe. Yeah. We had 302,000, I think, at one month, a long, many years ago. Not even on the papers. We have $305,287 through SPLOST coming into the county, and some of it is like Mr. Hartline just said. A lot of it is shop at home, and so we're glad for that. Now I know the experts say we're headed for a recession. I don't know. I hope we're not. I hope things get better. I did read today where the president is going to buy 180 million gallons of oil to put back in our reserve, which to me is a whole nother story for another day, where he should be using our own instead of buying it somewhere else. But that's But anyway, I'm glad to report on that because everything that we're doing in roads is tied to fuel. Asphalt's tied to fuel. Steel is up. I think someone just said earlier that wiring had gone up, what, $35 just in the last few days for fencing wire and that kind of thing. So everything's on the rise, but this helps us meet a lot of the needs that we have. Also, the session is over. The session, I mean being the legislative session, is over. We're now beginning to deal with some of the things that were passed out of that session. There are good things to some and there are bad things to others, but we will be dealing with that. There's elections going on now, by the way, in this room. The early voting is going on and will until right before the election on the 24th is the day of the election. So keep that in mind. Research the people who are running. I have a lot of people tell me, I don't know who's running for this. I don't know who's running for that. Look at a sign. Most of them you can go Google or go to Facebook. You can at least find out something about these people and be able to make a better decision or some questions of importance on our ballots right now. You can get a sample ballot of that and look at them. And then I want to give a little shout out right quickly. We have some of our young ladies and gentlemen from our high school that will be going to Pace Academy in Atlanta on Saturday to run track in the sectionals. They will go from that to the state track meet later on down in, I think, Columbus or in that area. So pray for these guys and gals. They work hard to get there and they represent Dade County schools when they go. And we've been very well represented by all of our sports teams over the last year. And one final thing, I do want to thank Commissioner Philip Hartline for taking the stand that he did on the parks and helping with Stacy and getting these tournaments come in, because it didn't just happen. It took a lot of work for him, and I know it's something that's benefiting our county, it's benefiting our youth, and every one of us for that to happen. So thank you, Mr. Hartline. That's mine.
Ms. Bradford?
Well, before I start my report, I just want to say, especially after everybody speaking, is I take this position very seriously. I feel like the board members that I have worked with do also. I have worked really hard to do all my classes to be certified so that I would be able to serve better and to be a better commissioner. And, you know, hearing some of the things tonight is upsetting because, you know, this is the first time we're hearing about some of the things, and people want to say a lot of bad things, but I don't have people calling me to want to work with me or find out what's really going on or what the plans are. So again, I really encourage people to reach out. I know that I've never turned anybody away on a phone call or meet up. I'm willing to meet with you. Those things are what I'm here for. And I just wanted to stress that because it's very important to me. We have 347 work orders, and most of that is mowing, so that's down a lot. We're still kind of in transition with the new employee, so I don't have the recycling and the tons of trash this month. We're going to work with him it's an end of the month kind of close out that we're still kind of working with. I do want to say that, you know, Tire Amnesty is Saturday, 8 to 2. If you have tires that are not really Tire Amnesty qualified, I guess would be kind of some good words. It's $2.75 to bring tires to the transfer station, so that is always an option. And that's all I have.
Yeah. Now, that's the small tires that we talked about.
Yeah, that's your regular
standard
tires. The larger ones are $6.75, so.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that was an option for people who, you know, if they pulled them out of the woods or they're on their property and cleaning up. I've got some myself that's not going to go through the Tire Amnesty, that's going to have to go to the transfer station.
Mr. Hartline's got.
I want to
something
apologize. I had something on my mind a while ago, still thinking about it. I've got a video, she's got a video to show you from the tournament over the weekend so you can kind of see what the parking lot and stuff look like. You can zoom in on the front row and all the front parking is gone. And then over on the right-hand side, it's just almost full.
That it? A lot of people. A lot of people down there, I tell you, but.
That grass looks good too.
You know what?
That grass looks good too.
Yeah, but the park is being used more this year than I've ever seen. I've never, I go by there every day, not only at work, but when I go home. And in the evenings, if you don't believe that we don't have youth in Dade County, you need to go by that place. It's just amazing, and on weekends too. I'll go ahead and go through my report pretty quick. I know we got a lot more people here to stop, but I was in training this past week, and I went through, we're having issues a lot of people don't realize not only in Georgia, but throughout the United States, but mainly in Georgia, northwest Georgia, of mental health. And everybody says, what have we got to do with mental health? Well, Joe Chambers is sitting back there right now. He's our jailer. He's over the jail. He's in there every day, 7 days a week. He came to me several months ago. Of course, I already knew we've had a problem. But I don't know what's happened, but maybe everybody blames everything on COVID. But we've really got some issues just right here in our county of people that are right on the verge of, it's scary. Some of the people that they've had here lately that they've arrested. And it's not people out on the street. It's people that you would never believe that it's just ready to ignite. And the funding was cut several years ago. We had what we call Rome Regional. That's where we used to take our people that were having problems. And the state, for whatever reason, I think they closed 8 hospitals, didn't they, at that time? Just shut them down. And they turned these people back home. Some of the more serious, they didn't find beds for them, but there wasn't enough beds for them then. But it's something you're going to be hearing a lot about in the next year or so. And Joe, we're doing all we can do. I see now more what you're talking about than ever, because that was an 8-hour thing that I went through down there, and it's just. But it's not only happening here. The only thing about other parts of Georgia is it's really bad in some of our metro areas and some of our larger counties, but they actually have budgets that take care of it. Their jail budget just for their incarceration is, some of them's 5-6 times what our total budget for the whole county is. So anyway, I just want to touch base, and I'll a little later on when we get more, learn more about this, and I'll get Joe maybe to get up, maybe our next commissioner next, and just talk about this, and we'll do a little, maybe just a PowerPoint to kind of update people on really what's happening here in the county. But like I said, there's a lot of people around us, and they don't have anywhere to go. They're home. They're sure at home, and they're out here driving. You see them in Ingalls, you see them in Bilo, and you never. But these people, it's it's just really, I mean, scary, So, we're gonna do everything we can on the government end of it to help fund Joe and to fund these people that are working, that's also with the mental health board to help these people. And so, I'll go move on. But anyway, another thing that I've been on this, and I speak about this seem like every other meeting, if not every meeting. I was on the phone again with Connor Poe. He's our government liaison with the railroad. We had another blockage up there today, but it's still going on. The Warnock people, the federal government, they have stepped in. They're deeply involved in. I found this out when we were in training. So I think we're going to really see. I don't know what the answer is going to be. That's between them and the transportation. I don't know, but something's got to give before we actually have a really bad thing happen in some of these communities that are being blocked. Well, Melissa lives in one of them, Miss Faircloth. She's got a dead end, have no way out, and there's several roads up there, and we just we've got to address this. They've got to address it, and we went to the top federal, and I know they're on them pretty heavy because Connor Poe, he instead of me calling him, he's calling us now. So that's a good thing. His office is right there in Atlanta, and he's actually, like I said, our government liaison. Touch on the mountain up here on this 301 wall, on the side of the mountain up there. Mention that they are. I want to say, you're going to see a lot of activity there in the next month or two. They know they've got to do something. You're not sure what, but they're just deciding how. So, and there will be probably the road will be blocked a few times, maybe even shut down for a while. I don't know. As soon as we know, it'll go on our website, and you'll be notified of that because that is a well-traveled road. If you live on the mountain, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all got anything else you want to add? I mean, anything on your mind? If not, we'll move on with the meeting. All right, Miss Mindy Hayworth, she's our manager of our library.
Thank you again for letting me come and speak and give an update on what's going on at the library. First, we were searching for a new library assistant. Our long-term assistant, April, left us in March. We hired a new library assistant. Her name's Bobby Montgomery. She moved to Trenton 2 years ago from Mississippi, and she started today. So I was really excited to have her there, and we started training today. We had 4 school visits during the month of April from Dade. The middle school and the high school had some students come over, and then we had the first graders and the second graders all come over. And I know that I had at least 5 parents come and bring their students back after their field trip to get library cards. And they were so excited. So that's really positive when we see the interaction and the field trip result in library cards. We had the most amazing April 26th. Our door count was 750 people at the library. I don't know if you can understand how many people that is.
A lot of people.
That was a lot of people that day. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it when we did that door count, 750 people at the library on a Tuesday. I mean, of all things. And another thing in April, we launched 3 new programs. And the first program, I think we can go to our first slide there, is our Teen Advisory Board. So it's one of the ways that Spencer, our youth education coordinator, has started to increase that demographic in the library. So we have a Teen Advisory Board that's helping us with book purchases. They're giving us ideas, programming, marketing. I know that we've got something going on with the Sentinel where they're going to be writing an article for library stuff, so we're really excited about our Teen Advisory Board. We have our Pokemon League that just started. This is a once a month. Right now, it was very popular. We had 18 kids come, and it's a multi-generational Pokemon League. It's not just for kids. We had parents come, kids come, and this is just a lot of people don't know what Pokemon is, but basically, it increases problem solving, cooperation, math skills. It was a lot of fun. And we've already had people asking, can you do it another day so we can come? Another program we started is a once a month scavenger hunt. And this is one of those passive programs. You just come into the library, the kids pick up their sheet, and it's to, there's different tasks that they have to do that they have to kind of know about the library. They have to know where juvenile nonfiction is. They've got to know where the recording studio is. So they go around and find these different things throughout the library, and they win a prize. And that has been incredibly popular. The kids cannot wait to come in, and they ask, have you put the new one up yet? So we're excited about that. That'll be once a month. And I know some of y'all have already talked about it. We had the election debates. That was that Tuesday. I don't know, that was those were some of the 750 people that walked in and out of the door that day. Very successful election debates. They were attended well, and we were glad to host that. I've mentioned before that one of my biggest priorities was ordering books every month. And we just did a huge large print book order. All of those shelves, all of those books you see are all large print books. So please come by and check out what we have in stock in our large print. And I want to announce our winner. I know that we talked about this at the last meeting, and some of the artwork was up here. We had the 5 top pieces of artwork on display, and our winner who had the most votes at the library was Savannah Frazier, and this was her piece of artwork, and she won that. So we want to recognize her. It was an amazing piece of artwork to honor and bring awareness to the Child Abuse Awareness Month of April. And moving on to May, here's our May calendar. You can pick up one of these at the library. We have them sitting out for you. All of our events are also on our chrl.org website. All of our programming is also on the Dade County website. Ms. Carey puts all that on for me. I send her a link, and she's got all of our programs listed on that. So if you can't figure out when a program is, or you know you heard something and you want to come, just check out the website. I also want to mention, before I move on to the play card, that we are working with 4-H successfully. Again, we cannot wait for their programs this month, and I'm really happy to have that collaboration for our schedule. Big news in my world. It makes me so happy. It's something I was really excited about. I talked to some of y'all at the debate night. The play cards got passed. The Georgia Play Card basically is a collaboration between the public schools and the public libraries, and what it does is it gives every child that's enrolled in a Dade County public school a Georgia public library card. This library card, you can check out 5 items, which is a little different than a regular library card, but there's no late fines. So that's a really amazing thing for some of our students. There is an opt-out period. That opt-out period is between May 2nd and May 16th. And to access that form, you would go to the Dade County School website. It's under the Department and Programs, and you'll see Play Card. There's a really great video, if anybody's interested in what Play Card has to offer, that's loaded up on the school website, and there's that opt-out right there. So the opt-out is basically if you don't want your child to have a library card, you just opt out, and they won't be put on that. And you can opt out at any time, but we did give that initial period. But we'll roll it out May 24th. Which is perfect for our summer reading program. So we're really hoping that we have a lot of kids participating in the summer reading program with that new library card. And these are just some resources that kids can have. The big one, eRead Kids, over 20,000 titles on eRead Kids. That's a digital resource that's free that kids have access to all of those books. All right, y'all, summer reading is right around the corner, and that's a big event at the library. This year's theme is Oceans of Possibilities. All you have to do is read for 20 minutes a day, log your minutes on the Beanstack app, and earn some fabulous prizes. Here are some of the events we've got lined up. Basically, we're having children's programming every Thursday at 11. We've got Tommy John Presents. We've got Barry Mitchell, the Deep Sea Circus. We have the Georgia Mobile Dairy Classroom coming. I cannot tell you how excited I am about that. They're bringing a cow in a semi. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to see how that happens. Registration begins May 16th. You can get on the Beanstack app and you can register. You can't start logging your hours or your minutes until June 6th. And our very first program is going to be Andy Porter, and he is June 9th. chrlbeanstack.org. That's where you will register. And of course, all of the information is on our website, chrl.org. We've also started, I saw y'all's out there. Yes, it's right. Oh, it's right there. We have one of these at the library as well. The Dade First Family Connection and the Dade County Schools Care Closet. The month of May is brand new shorts. Bring some shorts and put them in the bag, put them in our depository boxes. We've got it right at the front of the library. So bring it in, make sure it's new, shorts of any size, we'll take them. Last but not least, well, not almost last. Some people don't know that we have this amazing printing service at the library. A lot of people use our regular Xerox printer, but we also have a photo printer where we have a scanner where you can scan high quality scans of photos and a photo printer, and we also have a poster printer. And I think Mr. Rumley has used it. I think Carrie used it. We can print anything up to 24 inches wide, beautiful big posters. We have the prices up there. So if you are looking to print something, and we can do it just like that. It just takes 2 minutes, if that. Last but not least, if anybody wants to come volunteer over the summer, we will use your help. We would love to get some teens in there volunteering, but anybody that wants to come, we have a lot of people come in the library over the summer for summer reading, and we would love to get some volunteers. I hope I stayed under 5 minutes. I forgot to put my timer on. Thanks, y'all.
Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
All right, Miss Sarah Dyer and Laura Beth. Laura Beth, you're here tonight by yourself.
Me tonight.
Okay.
Miss Sarah had training all that day in Coweta County, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna be sad she missed this meeting, but it's been interesting. So, I'll wait for my slides real quick. Okay, so of course Mindy and I collaborate on a lot of stuff, so we talk a lot about the same things, but our April lesson in archaeology was very successful. We had, I think around 45 people show up for that. And I have a homeschoolers little club that I do now, and I did it yesterday, and I had a little girl that went to this meeting come up to me and tell me that she wanted to be a paleontologist now because she loved that class. So I was like, oh my gosh, that has my heart. So hopefully with my ability to bring in some things that haven't previously been taught here with my educational background, I'm really hoping that I can really broaden the horizons of our kids and get them thinking about other things. So I was really happy to hear that. So our shotgun team is going to go to state competition this weekend at Rock Eagle. We have 1 junior shooter and 6 senior shooters that qualified. Our team had a great showing in Chattooga. Our 1 junior shooter, his name is Caden Ware. He lives up on Sand Mountain, I'm sorry. And he placed 3rd overall. First year shooting, he did amazing. So he's really gonna represent our shotgun team very well in the next few years. Our senior team, they placed 3rd overall. And one of our more experienced shooters, Eli Hartline, he placed 2nd overall as an individual and received the Perfect Shot Award. So we were very proud of the kids. This weekend, this last month for craft, we made the squid out of the toilet paper rolls, and surprisingly, those things turned out really cute. I always try to find something that's really unique and a little eclectic. With Father's Day coming up, our craft project for this month's going to be a little bit more traditional. We're kind of going to try to do some Father's Day stuff, and they're going to make this little tree thing and then, color cards for their dads. And I will be heading back to the library next week. I'm going to teach the high school and the middle school age kids about Pompeii. It's one of the huge events in our history, and I've actually been there and toured Pompeii. So I hope that I can enlighten them on that because it's one of the very fascinating places that I've been able to travel to. I'm going to do the elementary age kids on the 24th, and we're going to talk about Jane Goodall. If you don't know who Jane Goodall is, she's like the monkey lady. She's the lady that works with the chimps and, gives us all the information on how they can teach them to read and do things like that. So she's a very fascinating person, and I really enjoyed learning about her in school. In April, we kicked off our inaugural Dade Greater Gardener Series. It's a 12-month series that meets once a month to learn all about things gardening. We had an excellent turnout of around nearly 50 community members that registered for the series. We still have people trying to call and sign up for it, but unfortunately we can't take any more. But it's been a very, very successful program. Sarah started the grass and now she's moved into gardening, and she's really brought some good programs to our county. Our next meeting for our registered gardeners will be on Thursday, May 26th at 6 p.m. Our next beekeepers meeting is going to be Monday, May 16th at 7 p.m. and it's always at the Ag Center. And then last, the Tri-State Cattlemen's meeting is on Tuesday, May 17th at 7 p.m. And this month it's going to be in Dade County. If you want to get the meal that the Choo Choo Barbecue brings, you need to RSVP by Friday, May 13th. And they've really started doing some good programs at the Cattlemen's meeting now. Last month they had I think the University of Tennessee vet come in and talk all about vaccine protocols and things for our cattle. This month we're going to have a program on marketing strategies, and it's going to be taught by Ross Strickland from the Northeast Georgia Livestock.
Any questions?
Thank
Good
y'all.
report, good
Thank
report.
you.
We appreciate y'all, all you do. Mr. George Williams, the chairman of our Alliance for Dade and Dash Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you for your time. What's going on at the Alliance? We had a great, successful lunch today with about 56 people there with Lunch and Learn. We had a legislative update from Senator Mullis and from Mike Cameron. I think I'm getting tired later in the day. Current investors, we have about 105, and we're working on renewals. This is the second year of the chamber being in business, and we're going after our renewals, and that's been successful as well. US Highway 11 Antique Alley, we are the host of the website for that. I think Stacy, you're selling some spaces down at the sports complex, and we've had one county in 502 miles that are participating with us. So we don't know quite where this whole thing is going. We're a little concerned of the response that we're seeing from the other counties. We, in essence, ask them for information so we can post it on the website so that people can see along the whole 502-mile route what's available. And Dade County, by the way, happens to be in the middle of that, between Meridian, Mississippi, and Bristol, Virginia. So we're working on that. So we'll see how that goes. We're selling items at the Welcome Center now. We've had art on display since we've opened up the Welcome Center, and we're working with agreements from the artists to be able to sell their art there. So stop in, see if there's something you'd like, and you can actually purchase it. We have Civil War books that are available at the Welcome Center as well. And we're going to be featuring from Dade County High School construction team their birdhouses. So if you need a birdhouse, come and see them. This weekend is Mother's Day, so I'm encouraging you, shop local. Whatever you need for your mother, I'm sure you can find it in Dade County. So shop our local merchants for that Mother's Day gift, and it's not that far to go if you're doing it at the last minute. We're partnering with Dade Family First. We heard about that from Mindy, but we also have a collection box at the Welcome Center. And thank you for telling me what the items were, because I haven't been over there yet to see it. But we are participating in that as well, and it's specifically for school children. Clothing and new items. Our Public Arts Committee is working on an event that's coming up in August in Trenton, and it's going to be called the Plumnelly Depot Art Show. So we're kind of interested in the depot. Me being a train nut, we're going to talk about the train depot, but we're going to have an art show and we'll have more details about that coming forward. Get out and vote. I know voting's been going on here starting this week, so it's very important to get out and vote and do that. So make sure you go to your polling places. The next slide is our Welcome Center. We've had good activity. It looks like the weather is improving and the activity is picking up at the Welcome Center. We had in April 21 Dade residents come in and use the facility, as well as we had 35 out of the county visitors come in as well. And we're also kind of a call center for people wanting to know what there is to do, or if I want to start a business, whatever. And we handled about 12 of those calls this past month. That's my report. Any questions?
Questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you, George. Yeah, appreciate you. I don't think Donna's here tonight from our historical preservation. You got anything to say, Donna, about it, or anything to mention? Okay. All right. Move down to 5A. This will be our monthly financial report from Mr. Don Townsend. Can you go over that, please?
As of April 30th, 2022, the general fund had a balance of $2,119,113. General fund also had certificate of deposits on it of $1,300,000. Federal Asset Fund, U.S. Treasury has a balance of $0. Sheriff's Special Fund, a balance of $8,938. Drug Abuse Education Fund, $25,110. Supplemental Juvenile Services Fund, $27,845. Victim Assistance Fund, $1,210. Jail Fund, $9,463. Federal Asset Fund, Department of Justice, $0. American Rescue Plan, $1,386,719. The accommodations, hotel motel tax, $273,998. Employees Flexible Spending Account, $20,920. And payroll account, $107,015. The old SPLOST, 2015 SPLOST, has a project account balance of $231,670, and the debt services fund has a balance of $4. The 2021 SPLOST project account has a balance of $7,699, and the proceeds account $420,775,000. As of March 31st, 2022, the income statement for the county was, we had brought in $612,490. We had budgeted $629,886. So we were short $17,395. Year to date, we have brought in $11,050,202. We had budgeted $10,354,867, and so we were in excess of $695,335. The expenses for the month ending March 31st, the actuals were $940,972. We budgeted $971,704, so we were under budget $30,731. Year to date, $9,329,365. Had budgeted $9,632,705. So again, under budget by $303,339. With 75% of the budget year gone and attained, I should say, we have the revenues attained are at 84.07% and expenses attained are at 70.98%. Local option sales tax for the month of April was $244,230.30, and SPLOST was $305,287.75. And just to refer to what Commissioner Goff was saying, back in July 2007 was the last time we exceeded 300,000. And that was, and it's not even on there. It goes that's way back in the past. But 2007 was $313,693. So we almost hit our all-time record. So anyway, that's wonderful. And the SPLOST reporting, we have, again, expensed a total year-to-date disbursements of $1,282,863. And the old 2015 SPLOST, we have, you see there that we have almost finished that out. The only thing left is really towards the bottom of the second page of the report, and that is our fire departments. I'm still wrangling with the fire departments. Rodney's back there, and they're aware of their balances currently. Everyone's under 50,000. Some have used almost 100% up, and then our mountain rescue, we know, is at 43,000, and they probably will be here in June to make a request. And as the train blows, that probably means I'm almost done. Let's see, the tax commissioner's report is year-to-date through March 31st is at 90.54%. Budgeted total is $5,197,500. She's collected $4,705,927. So that's excellent. That concludes the report.
Okay, thank you, Don. Any questions, corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve our financial report as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve is read.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bradford. Call a vote, Mr. Lowry,
Yes.
Mr. Hartline,
Yes.
Mr. Goff,
Yes.
Ms. Bradford.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, thank you. The reading of the minutes of the last month's regular meeting and any special call meeting would not be required since all commissioners have been furnished copies in advance of minutes for appellate record and available for view in our commission office. The minutes are included in the consent agenda. At this time, I'll ask Mr. Don Townsend to go over that consent agenda, and I'll entertain a motion pertaining to that.
Okay, we have approval of the agenda as amended to add number 15, which was resolution R-34-22. Approval of the previous meeting minutes, a review of the personal status report, a resolution R-30-22, appointment of a member to the Northwest Georgia Joint Development Authority Board, and that is Mr. Shannon Henry, commencing tomorrow, May 6, 2022, expiring 12/31/2022. That is to fulfill the unexpired term of Mr. Fred Stevens, who recently resigned. Proclamation, Respect for Law, sponsored by the Trenton Dade Optimist Club, who held an event on May the 3rd in honor of Police Week, which is recognized by the Fraternal Order of Police each year, through May 15th through the 21st. A proclamation of Armed Forces Day, the third Saturday of May, a proclamation for Foster Care Month of May 2022. And we, by the way, have 19 foster children in Dade County currently in an active situation. Let's see, Joint Comprehensive Plan 5-year update community survey presented by Mr. Alex Smith of Northwest Georgia Regional Commission. Recognition of the second public hearing has been completed and the draft plan presented. Ordinance number 05-05-22, Second Amendment ordinance prohibiting the use of county resources to enforce gun restrictions or gun accessory laws in violation of state laws, and that is the second reading and approval tonight. Resolution R-31-22, sale and or disposal of county capital equipment as declared surplus property, primarily discussing unit number 78, which is a white 1997 Ford F-150 4.6 liter. So that is out on govdeals.com if you're interested in bidding. Resolution R-32-22, authorized intergovernmental agreement between the county and the school board for conveyance of high school football stadium athletic property for North Dade School property and approval of deeds to effectuate this purpose. Resolution R-33-22, approving sale of the Back Valley property by Potts Brother Auction on April 29th. And documentation therefore for the closings, and Resolution R-34-22, which is the adjustment of the scale house rates at the transfer station for disposal of solid waste, which is a $1.50 increase to both the general public scale, which is now $56.50 per ton, and certified commercial hauler scale fee at $37.50 per ton.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve our consent agenda as approved by Mr. Townsend. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Okay, call the vote. Mr. Lowry,
Yes.
Mr. Hartline,
Yes.
Mr. Goff,
Yes.
Ms. Bradford,
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Robin, you got anything more for us? I mean, legal.
I don't, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right. If not, we'll, got anything else you want to say? Ed? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Have a motion.
To adjourn.
Have a second. Have a second. Call the vote. Mr. Lowry,
Yes.
Hartline,
Yes.
Mr. Goff,
Yes.
Ms. Bradford.
Yes.
And Chair votes yes. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming tonight.